Something is shifting deep within the halls of Thousand Oaks, and it feels like the quiet before a massive storm. For years, we have heard the rumors, the whispers of a new era, but the Los Angeles Rams always pivoted at the last second. They played it safe, brought in veterans, and kept us guessing while they focused on the present. But right now, the silence around the quarterback position is deafening, and that usually means Snead is up to something big. You need to stay until the very end, because the landscape is changing fast. Matthew Stafford has been the heart and soul of this offense, a true enthusiast who embodies everything this coaching staff values in a leader. However, as I monitor the building, the context surrounding our quarterback room has reached a tipping point that we haven't seen in the last 2 draft cycles. In 2024, everyone thought Sean Payton was right about us moving up for Bo Nix, but it turned out to be a smokescreen. Then came the Jackson Dart rumors, where reports were completely conflicted about our level of interest. Back then, it didn't make sense to force a move because we had Jimmy Garoppolo locked in as a reliable veteran insurance policy. This year, the environment is fundamentally different. Jimmy is gone, and currently, Stetson Bennett is the only body behind Stafford on the depth chart. The lack of buzz regarding a rookie quarterback is actually what should have you on high alert. When the Rams are linked to everyone, they usually take no one. When no one is talking about a specific name, that is exactly when this front office strikes. We are sitting at the 13th overall pick with a massive hole in the long-term plan, at the most important position in sports. Former players like Jim Everett are already pointing out the obvious. The Rams are notoriously tight-lipped, and the current lack of a legitimate backup suggests they have a specific target in mind for the draft. Mike Mayock recently highlighted that Stafford is effectively on a year-to-year reality now, especially considering the back issues that cropped up last August. Snead has to be thinking about the future, and that future might be arriving much sooner than anyone anticipated. While the rest of the league looks at the defensive needs or the offensive line, the real chess move is happening in the quarterback room. We are seeing a rare moment where the Rams have a high first-round pick and a glaring need for a developmental heir. The smoke from previous years has cleared, leaving a very clear path toward a selection that could define the next decade of Rams football. If they don't bring back a veteran soon, the draft is the only logical conclusion for a team that refuses to leave its future to chance or mediocre options in free agency. Ty Simpson is the name that should be echoing through your mind right now, because he represents the ultimate schematic fit for what we do. While the national media is distracted by the bigger names, Simpson possesses the exact traits that would allow him to thrive in this specific ecosystem. Think about the impact on our depth chart. Right now, we are one snap away from a massive crisis, but bringing in a talent like Simpson changes the entire trajectory of the season. He wouldn't be asked to step in and save the franchise on day one, which is exactly where most young quarterbacks fail in this league. Instead, he would enter an environment designed for success, learning under the tutelage of Stafford and the brilliant mind of McVay. Connecting Simpson to the Rams makes too much sense from a system standpoint. He offers a level of mobility that we haven't seen in this offense, yet he maintains the pocket discipline and anticipation that are non-negotiable for our coaching staff. If we use the 13th pick on him, or even trade down slightly to secure him, it signals a massive shift in philosophy. It tells the locker room and the fans that the Rams are committed to a sustainable winning culture beyond the current window. The roster needs a spark of youth at the signal caller position to ensure that when the transition eventually happens, it is a seamless handoff rather than a total rebuild. Simpson has that blue blood pedigree from Alabama, and his mindset aligns perfectly with the work ethic Jim Everett raved about. We have seen what happens when McVay gets a quarterback who can process quickly but also create out of structure. Simpson provides that Mayfield-esque playmaking ability combined with the rhythm of a Kirk Cousins. The strategic impact goes beyond just the backup role. It provides leverage in contract negotiations and a clear vision for the next 5 years. Most teams are afraid of the risk associated with inexperienced starters, but the Rams have the luxury of time and the coaching infrastructure to mitigate those concerns. If the front office has conviction, they won't care about the outside noise regarding where he is ranked on a big board. They will take their guy and solidify the future of the Los Angeles Rams right now. Ty Simpson is a fascinating prospect because his career trajectory doesn't follow the typical path of a first-round lock, which is why he remains under the radar. He comes from a coaching family, giving him an advanced understanding of the game that few 20-year-olds possess. When you look at his stats and film, you see a player who can operate a complex offense with high-level anticipation. His ability to throw from the pocket is reminiscent of the best years we saw from Kirk Cousins in Washington. He doesn't just see the open man. He throws them open, anticipating breaks before the receiver even makes his move. However, the deep context here is his limited starting experience. We have seen the cautionary tales of Anthony Richardson and Mitchell Trubisky, players who went early with fewer than 15 starts and struggled to adapt. But those players were often thrown into the fire on dysfunctional teams. Simpson would be entering a completely different situation. His strength lies in his athleticism and his ability to extend plays, something that would add a new dimension to the McVay playbook. He has that Mayfield-esque grit and out-of-structure playmaking that keeps defenses honest. The weaknesses are there, mostly centered around a lack of game reps and occasional decision-making lapses under pressure, but those are exactly the things that sitting behind Matthew Stafford can fix. The situation in Los Angeles is a quarterback's dream. You have the best offensive mind in the league, a veteran mentor who has seen it all, and a roster built to compete. Analyzing Simpson through the lens of a Rams insider, you see a player who fits the McVay type perfectly. He has the work ethic, the processing speed, and the physical tools to be elite. The history of inexperienced quarterbacks failing is often a product of their environment, not just their talent. In the Rams ecosystem, the risk is significantly lower and the reward is a potential 10-year starter. We are looking at a player who can sit, learn the intricacies of the language, and master the footwork required to run this system at a championship level. This isn't just a draft pick, it's a calculated investment in the most valuable asset a franchise can own. Let us look at the best-case scenario, which is honestly enough to keep defensive coordinators up at night. Imagine a world where Ty Simpson spends 2 years learning the nuances of this offense without the pressure of starting. He absorbs everything from Stafford, masters the checks at the line of scrimmage, and then takes over a loaded roster in his 3rd year. We could be looking at the next great era of Rams football, a seamless transition that mirrors what the Packers did with their superstars. The narrative tension is real because the stakes couldn't be higher. If the Rams pass on a quarterback now, they are betting everything on Stafford's health and longevity. The worst-case scenario is a repeat of last year's scare, where a back issue or a nagging injury leaves us with no viable options and forces us into a desperate trade mid-season. The pressure on Snead to get this right is immense. If he reaches for Simpson at 13 and he busts, it wastes a premium asset during a competitive window. But if he ignores the position and Stafford goes down, the entire season evaporates. Raising the question of value is essential. Is 13 too high? Some might say yes, but as Jim Everett mentioned, if you have conviction in a guy who fits your soul, you don't wait for the 2nd round. The risk of Simpson being a bust, like other inexperienced passers, is the shadow hanging over this entire conversation. Can McVay truly mold a raw talent into a refined starter before the Stafford era ends? The opportunity is right in front of us to be bold while everyone else is playing it safe. The tension between the need for an immediate impact player and the necessity of a future quarterback is the defining conflict of this draft. If we trade down to the late 1st and still get him, it is a masterclass in roster management. But the risk of losing him to another team lurking in the shadows is a reality we have to face. Every move we make in a week will be scrutinized through the lens of this one decision. The future of the franchise is on the line, and the clock is ticking. The Los Angeles Rams are standing at a crossroads that will define the Sean McVay era for years to come. While the media remains quiet, the evidence points toward a major move at the quarterback position. The lack of a veteran backup and the specific fit of Ty Simpson create a narrative that is impossible to ignore. We have the infrastructure, the mentor, and the pick to make this happen. It is time to stop playing it safe and secure the heir to the throne while Matthew Stafford is still here to lead the way. I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you think Ty Simpson is the right choice at 13, or should we focus on defense and wait another year for a quarterback? Does his lack of experience scare you, or do you trust McVay to develop him into a star? Let me know your thoughts below because I read every single one. If you love the Rams and want the most in-depth insider coverage you can find, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications so you never miss a breaking update as we head into the draft. We are just getting started, and you don't want to miss what is coming next.